Hello and welcome back. We're going to have a quick look at this model this week. It's the 3F tender locomotive R.251. Actually was sold separately to the tender. Tender was R33. Let's have a look at the old box here. R33 tender for R.251 locomotive. So we'll just whip the old tender out of the box. There's no internal packaging left in this tender box. There we go, just pop the box to one side. See, it's in fairly good shape. Open axle boxes. Now this model dates from 1958, I think, as it's got the open Mark II type couplings when it was first released that year. Then try and switch to the closed tension lock style couplings in 1959 onwards. So fairly tidy condition. So a little bit of wear to the old decal, as you might imagine, for a model of this age. Old sleeved wheels, and we can see Triang's name down there. And we've got built in Britain. You can see this large plastic lump here to accommodate the fitting of this open style coupling on the back, and the metal buffer heads just pushed into the old plastic bodywork. I believe the tender was changed later to incorporate just buffer heads pushed in with a little change in the plastic moulding there. I believe that would have been changed slightly to accommodate the new tension lock style coupling. Again, lovely detail on the back. So we'll just pop that down. The coal load is separately fitted. It does have a habit of coming out, although not at this moment in time. There we go. You can see the inside of the tender there. The old securing screw holds the top onto the base of the tender. And there's the old coal load there. So we'll just pop that back in. Pop her down over there. And the old locomotive, early style box, lifting lid. It's got the paper label on both ends. You can see the effects of tape and storage over the years. So reasonably tidy condition. Box has done its job, I suppose. Again, we can see tape there. So we'll just open up the box. Again, there's no paperwork with this. We'll just pop that to one side. Nice cardboard interior. And now we've got the old locomotive. So, beautiful looking thing. We'll just pop that out and have a swift look at it. Then we'll just pop the old box to one side as well. So you see she's in quite nice shape. Again, we've got the old open style Mark II couplings at the front, and the buffer heads just pushed straight in. Looking pretty good. Screw down the chimney. Always makes it a proper toy train when we've got a screw down the chimney. Decal applied to the side, a little bit of loss. Lovely wire handrails. Tiniest bit of cab detail in the back there. All the steps intact. Tiny crack down the back end of the model there. You can see the two pins from the chassis protrude through the bodywork to help secure it all together. They're a great big back end of the motor there. Lovely windows through the back of that cab, aren't there? Look round the other side. Fairly tidy condition. A slight warp in the bodywork there. I don't believe this is acetate. I think it is polystyrene. Again, lovely looking thing. Solid wheels. Great big chunky things. So brass drive gear there. Let's see the old pickups. Again, steps. So often get damaged, these steps. So we'll just pop her down. We'll have a swift look at the old catalogue here. 1958 catalogue. Thought we'd have that. Seems this model probably dates from 1958. Terrific cover there. Possibly the name of the owner of said catalogue here. Not quite sure. Have a look at the back. Again, some terrific things in this catalogue. So we'll just flip it open and have a look. Just pop this box to one side. So we'll just have a look through. There's a Triang's factory here, down in Margate. Some great sets there, aren't there? Mainline express train sets. Green Princess there with a full valve gear. Lovely looking illustrations, aren't they? The old EMU, and then the DMU, which I believe might have been new this year as well. Old saddle tank there with some suburban coaches. great looking stuff, and this page I love. And I think this is a stunning page of models here on it's number 7 in the catalogue. Really is great, isn't it? And here is the model we're having a swift look at today, R.251 tender loco, electric model with R33 tender there. Really lovely page of models that. We'll just have a swift look through the rest of it. Great set of coaches there, aren't there? Flip it across. Look at the old utility vans there in green and maroon. And some great pictures of the chassis there as well, aren't there? Bottle of oil, shell oil for Triang. Terrific wagons as well. They're a great scale in the catalogue to look at when they're this size on the page, I think. Really lovely things. There's the old hand decoupler we looked at last time. And the old transcontinental stuff. I know some people aren't quite so keen on that, but I happen to really like the transcontinental range. Lovely stuff. Must have looked so bright and shiny in the windows of the shops back when these were contemporary items. So really terrific things. Great appeal in other markets as well, I believe, which is probably why they went ahead and did it. Look at a terrific illustration of that TC Pacific there. Lovely perspective. Really must have been a great time just sitting leafing through this catalogue. Accessories and track. We've got the old introduction of Series 3 and grey track, standard track coming together there. An extra long fibre-based piece of track there. Lovely buildings. Again, the scale they are on the page just makes them a pleasure to look at. I really enjoy leafing through these old catalogues. So we'll just keep on going. Again, some more buildings there in the old turntable. So we do have a price list here. I had a look through it already, and whilst we got the old R251 on here, and just find it just there, we'll hold it up the camera. She's yet to have a price included in the catalogue or on the price list for this year, and this is 1st of January 1958. And we'll just have a look at the other side. Very delicate piece of paper, this. So we'll just pop that down. Interesting, on the inside back cover there's a list Triang have put in here. The I want, I have got list. And the gentleman has begun to fill it in. There's a number of I wants there, isn't there? I suppose we all have lists like that ourselves. We'll end with the old back cover there. And here she comes. We're going to bring her to a stop just before points number 9 there and switch those. Just look how well she deals with this lot. This is a really old model, and we'll switch those behind her. And we'll pick up that short rack of wagons back there. I think we have those. These are all the old open style couplings that can be quite temperamental, especially across the point work. A lovely sound coming from this motor. She really is very nice to move around the layout. She sits very flat on the track. Now headed off towards points number 4 there with the red light in the distance. And we'll bring her gently to a stop. And off she goes again. Just look how smoothly she goes through the points. The wagons are a little bit bumpy. We'll switch those behind her. Off into the distance and past those great coloured tank wagons. We'll just have a swift look at the wagons we've been running today. We've got R13, the old coal truck there. Fairly nice boxes, a little bit of wear, some original tape there. But fairly nice condition to have survived all of these years. So we'll just pop her out, and we do have a packing ring present here. I believe there's one on the other end of the model as well. Let's just have a look. There we go, we'll leave that in there. There we go, the old Tarpaulin Wagon R13, available 1950 to 61, so it slightly predates Triang. So probably a model that they'd bought in and continued to develop. I believe the coal load is separate, although it might be stiff to come out. No, it comes straight out. There we go. Great idea. To sell them with the old infill in. Really nice thing. Open axle boxes, of course, and then the old sleeved wheels. Oh, we've got Triang R10, R13, made in England. Of course, this was also just the open wagon as well, available in a variety of colours, I believe. So we'll just pop her down to one side there. And then we've got the old Bolster Wagon R17, again available 1953 to 74 from what I've read. So let's see a little bit of tearing on the old packaging here. And tape, again, it's not too bad. So extra tape being applied there to stop it falling out. Possibly the old price written in what looks like biro there. So we'll pop her out of the box and have a look. So try and be really careful with these things. There we go. I believe R17, the Bolster Wagon, undergone a number of changes over the years. You can see this printing is quite crude on the side of here, isn't it? Let's have a look down the other side. You can see this one quite early. It's got the closed axle boxes, so the chassis is in two parts. If you have a look at that, it will be glued or bonded together to get that to work. You can't quite see that down there. I don't know whether we can see it at the end there. See the two halves of the metal chassis there. So the axle's enclosed as it's glued together. So the axles are nice and free running though, so no problems there in keeping this model running. So we'll pop that down to one side. And then we'll have a look at the old Tarpaulin Wagon. Now this one is in the wrong box. I believe this box is for a cable drum wagon R18 by the look of it. So again, we've got a little bit of tape. Box is in fairly tidy condition. And the name on the end of it sort of worn away. You can just see wagon there. So we'll pop her out. There we go, the old tarpaulin load. We've got the packing ring present there. Just a single one. I'll just take that off. Excellent looking thing, isn't it? As you can see, it's the same base as the old Bolster Wagon, isn't it? There we go. So they both have the old closed axle boxes, the same running number, quite crude printing. And there's some detail on the old tarpaulin load there, which is quite nice. And Triang's name still seems to have been overprinted in white there. Just have a swift look around the model. Again, the old open couplings, and underneath there we've got Triang R17, R18, made in England. So lovely things. We'll just pop that one down, and then finally we've got the old brake van. So R16, long running model. So 1953 to 67. And we've got the effects of tape on the old box there. So we'll get her out. Again, we've got packing rings present here. I believe these were available in a number of liveries over the years. So just pop that down, excuse my hands. You can see there is some warping on this model. I believe it's possibly in acetate, this one. And it has the old separately fitted running boards. So old tin plate running boards. Lovely crude printing on the side, isn't it? Really excellent. A little rust beginning to happen there. Again, the old closed axle boxes. Sleeved wheels, Triang R16, made in England on the bottom. Really lovely thing. So a little bit of bending there in the plastic, so I think that probably is the old acetate rather than polystyrene one. It seems to have been reaffixed by glue there, or maybe that's original, I'm not quite sure. So we'll pop her down. I think the old tarpaulin load, I forgot to mention, was available between 53 and 59. Just coming towards us now, down the layout across the points and diamond crossings, making quite light work of it. A little bit bumpy, just listen to the motor. Beautiful set of wagons, aren't they? I really like these old wagons. Off up the incline now. She's making light work of this. I don't think she'll pull very much more than this up here, not having the old magnesium. Again, just a lovely sound, isn't she? Off onto the suspension bridge. Tiny stutter there as she rolls onto it, nothing too bad. Now she descends the elevated section here. We've got to back off the power. Everything tends to pick up speed coming down here. And off into the distance now, towards the far end of the layout. So I've just removed the old securing screw out of the model there. Great big long thing. And I think in this black livery, this model ran from 1958 through to 65. And 66 to 67, there was a maroon version of the model. So we'll just have a look around the body. It's in fairly tidy condition. Tiny crack in the front buffer beam there, and I think we pointed out a tiny crack just below the footplate at the back of the model there. So a nice wire handrail, decals fairly good for its age, I think. Slight mark on that one there. So we'll just turn her over and have a look on the underside. Perhaps if we turn that around, we might be able to read. We've got Triang's name and the model number there, R.251, and then built in Britain just hiding down there. So fairly tidy overall. Metal buffers pushed into the old buffer beam. I believe later models it was slightly modified so that it just had buffer heads pushed into a plastic moulding which had been extended. So later models also had a synchro-smoke unit, I think. So the securing screw would have had to go in the side. So we'll just pop that down and have a look at the old chassis. So I think this chassis was used in a number of other models, and it was developed over the years to take the old synchro-smoke unit and eventually had magnesium. And I'm not sure whether this black variant of the 3F tender loco got magnesium. I'm not quite sure of that. Great looking motor, seems in fairly tidy condition. With great big heavy solid wheels there. They do get dirty very quickly when you're using the material made to use these. I'm not entirely sure it was best suited for wheels on model trains, but it gets dirty very, very quickly. You have to constantly clean them there. Nice plain coupling rods. Very heavy flanges, aren't they? Very, very deep. I don't think this one will be running on contemporary track. Great brass screws holding the two plates of the chassis together through the weight there. So terrific looking thing. Got the old drawbar on the back, nice and basic there. We'll pop that down. Swift look at the old tender again. So we've got the old open axle boxes. We've already had a quick look at this, and the old drawbar there. It has had a little damage. I have had to glue that back on. The pin was slightly missing, so I've had to make a slight modification to hold that one in place. But apart from that, it's fairly tidy. There's the old model number down there, R33. And I believe this basic tender was modified to be used with a number of other models over the years. So, lovely looking thing. You see that coal load just trying to come out again. Just catching up with her again now as she passes under the elevated section. Just slowing her down a little now as she comes up towards the station. We're going to bring her to a gentle stop just before points number 8. And that's the crossover from the outside to the inside line. Making quite light work of that. And it's a little bit bumpy, but no struggle, no hesitation. We'll switch those behind her. Off around the layout, passing the old engine sheds there and up towards the signal box. Nicely through the points number 1 there. Passing the turntable and the fog signal. And running into the first radius curve nice and smoothly. Now, from what I've seen, this wonderful locomotive was included in a number of sets over the years. RS5 was available between 1960 and 61, the goods train set, and a variation on that, 62 to 63, was the RS26, the BR goods train set. And I think you could add the earlier style smoke unit to these models by this point. And then in 63 to 64, there's the fantastic looking RMA, combination railways and motorways set. I wonder how long those pieces lasted. And then 1965 we have the RS61, the fantastic looking old smoky set with a weathered version of the model. And I believe she had a separate catalogue number for that, and that was R661. By 66 and 67 there was the fantastic looking Midlander set, and that was the RS8, and I believe there may be a couple of versions of the locomotive available in this period. Just catching up with her again as she passes the station, negotiating the points here. Oh, just about to pass the gasometer and oil tank again. We'll have a great view of the old engine sheds there as we come by. Very, very smooth, passing the signal box through points number 1 again, past the goods yard. Great view of the windmill and the clock tower there, and back around up to the station. Earlier, when we were looking at the catalogue, I'd forgotten to point out the dealer stamp on the back there. It's rather nice to find, isn't it? And I think that's probably it for this week. Once again, thanks for watching. It's really is appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll have something else interesting from the trying range to have a look at. Goodbye now.